Tra-la-la, la-la. What time is it, Bill? Tra-la-la. It's Tuesday, Tuesday, Tuesday. The day that time forgot. You can see why I'm wearing the hat. Thank you very much. Well, welcome back to the treehouse. Sitting on a bench in the Greyhound station, his bag between his legs like a sheltered mathematician, off to San Francisco for some cultural enrichment, and the sky in Tacoma's raining razor blades. He's never been away, never seen eccentric people, just his mother and his father who live inside a steeple. It's prayers every morning and whippings every night, and the sky in Tacoma's raining razor blades. I wouldn't say he's strange, but he's got his own ideas regarding leaps of faith and mental diarrhea. When he looks into the mirror, there are wires in his eyes, and the sky in Tacoma's raining razor blades. Everybody stay at home and make out your will, cause the sky in Tacoma's raining razor blades. Once when he was 12, he saw a girl undressing his second cousin Edna from Dallas on Thanksgiving. When she got down to the frilly parts, he had to run away, with the sky in Tacoma raining razor blades. Sometimes in his dreams, he's a television weatherman, trying to escape from angry young Republicans who heard him say something like poison in the clouds and the sky in Tacoma raining razor blades. Never been political, never got involved, although once he won a ribbon for a riddle that he solved. Something about dust bunnies up in outer space and the sky in Tacoma raining razor blades. Everybody jump up and boogie till you die, cause the sky in Tacoma's raining razor blades. He glances at his watch, it's 11:47, only 12 minutes left before he meets his destiny. Everything is changing, it can never be the same, and the sky in Tacoma's raining postcards with pictures of razor blades. There it is. Whew, there you go. The Sky in Tacoma, ladies and gentlemen, from an album called Gravity. The Gravity album, ladies and gentlemen. The Gravity album. And it's not very good. Oh, there you go. Not available on CD anymore, I'm afraid. This is one of the 2 or 3 that I've got left in the house. So, that one sold out. Will wonders never cease? So I want to say I'm sorry I was not here last week. I think the events just kind of got the best of me, and I felt like the best thing I could do was just be quiet and begin a process of furthering my own education. Because I think what I came in contact with was my own lack of knowledge. And it kind of, I descended on a lot of us, I think, kind of all at the same time. And I think a lot of us are kind of re-examining what we thought about. I wish Jody Drew was watching, because it reminded me of a conversation that Jody Drew and I had 35 years ago while we were still at Whitworth, and I had finished doing a concert at Whitworth, and we went back to my apartment at Whitworth Court, and we had a long discussion. And that discussion was about the patriarchy, as a matter of fact. And I remember one of the things that I was insisting in that conversation was that because I did not hold any of those beliefs in myself, I could not be held accountable. And Jody and I were both fairly young people at the time, and I think we were kind of trying this discussion out on a lot of levels. But I realized since that conversation that that really wasn't the conversation we were having. It wasn't about me, but I was taking it personally, you know. That's one of the things that came back into my mind this week that has kind of put me back on my heels. And as soon as I started realizing that I needed to know more than I thought I already knew, and that I had, on some level, had been kind of self-deceptive, or had hypnotized myself into thinking a certain number of things were true that in fact were not true. As soon as I made that realization, resources started appearing. Information started coming into my field of vision that is blowing my mind. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at now. And if you were wondering, well, how's Bill going to be after not having done this for a week? That's exactly how I've been feeling and wondering right up till pretty much this very moment. How's Bill going to be? Bill is in a pretty heightened emotional state, and but that's not unusual when I do these performances. I'm usually in a fairly high emotional state. So not that different, but different too. So I'm learning. That's where I'm at. I wanted to point out to you, just briefly, this t-shirt. This t-shirt is probably one of my most prized collector t-shirts. And I'm not even going to leave it on. I'm going to change out of it because I want to keep this t-shirt as pristine as it is right now. This is an original Fred Babb t-shirt that was given to me by Fred Babb back in 1991 when I was on the road down in Cambria, California. I did a concert at a gallery there called What Is Art? It was Fred Babb's gallery. And there were images on the wall that were like 10 by 15 feet of things like this. The guy was amazing. I'm sorry to hear that Fred passed away in 2006, but if you go to fredbabb.com, you can see it. You can see it. His website is happening. FREDBABB. fredbabb.com. An original Fred Babb. He actually sent me a box full of t-shirts when I got back home. I think he gave me one or two while I was there because I was traveling on. I was driving my dad's old van and I was sleeping in the van and I was doing the itinerant musician thing, one of the few times that I actually did that, realizing as I was doing it that I wasn't very comfortable out on the road. That after a couple of weeks, I needed to go home. I needed to be back, with my stuff. But anyway, Fred was very kind to me and I loved doing the concert there. And I believe I heard from maybe his daughter commented on one of my videos on my YouTube channel, one of the songs from Gravity, and I had the cover art. And I got to find that. I meant to try and look that up before we went on the air tonight. But Fred Babb, 1947 to 2006, rest in peace. Your art lives on. Art won't hurt you. fredbabb.com. Check it out. Now the question is, do I need coffee at this point in my life? I don't know. But I usually have coffee when I'm playing a gig. And it's 7 o'clock at night. I'll have a cup of coffee. And it kind of gets me, Lori, if she's out there, she knows I can do certain songs that I can't do without coffee. Tonight's poet, Mary Oliver. I was going to do Philip Levine. I was going to read They Feed They Lion. But I just couldn't do it. This isn't the week for that. And then I thought, okay, well, I'll do Richard Hugo. And then I thought, I should do a woman. I haven't done a woman yet. Mary Oliver, top of the list. I am trying to earn my way to the place where I can read 21 Love Poems by Adrienne Rich. I'm not there yet. Maybe Mary will help me. House of Light is the first Mary Oliver book that came into my life. She won the Pulitzer for American Primitive. She won bunches of awards. But House of Light and a couple of poems. I'm going to read you the two poems that blew my mind. The first one is called Singapore. In Singapore, in the airport, a darkness was ripped from my eyes. In the woman's restroom, one compartment stood open. A woman knelt there, washing something in the white bowl. Disgust argued in my stomach, and I felt in my pocket for my ticket. A poem should always have birds in it. Kingfishers, say, with their bold eyes and gaudy wings. Rivers are pleasant, and of course trees. A waterfall, or if that's not possible, a fountain rising and falling. A person wants to be in a happy place in a poem. When the woman turned, I could not answer her face. Her beauty and her embarrassment struggled together, and neither could win. She smiled, and I smiled. What kind of nonsense is this? Everybody needs a job. Yes, a person wants to stand in a happy place in a poem, but first we must watch her as she stares down at her labor, which is dull enough. She is washing the tops of the airport ashtrays, as big as hubcaps, with a blue rag. Her small hands turn the metal, scrubbing and rinsing. She does not work slowly nor quickly, but like a river. Her dark hair is like the wing of a bird. I don't doubt for a moment that she loves her life. And I want her to rise up from the crust and the slop and fly down to the river. This probably won't happen. But maybe it will. If the world were only pain and logic, who would want it? Of course it isn't. Neither do I mean anything miraculous, but only the light that can shine out of a life. I mean the way she unfolded and refolded the blue cloth, the way her smile was only for me. I mean the way this poem is filled with trees and birds. It was my first Mary Oliver. I think the first time you encounter Mary Oliver, she's going to make you emotional. This is called Roses, Late Summer. What happens to the leaves after they turn red and golden and fall away? What happens to the singing birds when they can't sing any longer? What happens to their quick wings? Do you think there is any personal heaven for any of us? Do you think anyone, the other side of that darkness, will call to us, meaning us? Beyond the trees, the foxes keep teaching their children to live in the valley. So they never seem to vanish. They are always there in the blossom of light that stands up every morning in the dark sky. And over one more set of hills, along the sea, the last roses have opened their factories of sweetness and are giving it back to the world. If I had another life, I would want to spend it all on some unstinting happiness. I would be a fox or a tree full of waving branches. I wouldn't mind being a rose in a field full of roses. Fear has not yet occurred to them, nor ambition. reason they have not yet thought of. Neither do they ask how long they must be roses, and then what? Or any other foolish question. Mary Oliver, House of Light. I'll read from a couple of the other books later, including one that Diane wanted to hear. But right now, I'm going to step over here and change out of this shirt. This shirt is so precious to me, I don't want to wash it. I'd maybe hand wash it, but if I get it all pitted out, no, I'm changing. Sorry. Just talk amongst yourselves. It'll be fine. Where'd I put? Bring me the. Get the. Don't forget the. Yeah. Okay. Great. Don't forget the hat, Bill. Yes. Once the hat has been put on, you don't want to, you know. Once hat head is established, I think we know this, right? Once you have this kind of thing going on with the, yeah, you can't go back. You just can't. I'm sorry. So here we are, back together again. If we knew each other better, I probably wouldn't have gone off camera to change, but, you know, we don't know each other that well. So how's everybody been? Do I need to ask that question? I don't think I do. Is Cindy still out there? Cindy Snyder? Cindy wanted to hear a song. She may have forgotten that she requested it. And this song was written, I believe, in 1983. Yeah, it goes back a ways. This is the song I used to say, you know, when people say that history repeats itself, yeah, I'm a living witness. Most of us who have been around long enough get to actually see it happen. This song actually got played on KEZX back in the day. There was a show on Sunday nights called Homegrown. Yeah, remember the Homegrown on KEZX? This show actually got played from a cassette on Homegrown. From a cassette. A cassette called The Lunatic Cafe. Yeah. No longer available. Damn right, baby, I'm tight. I plan to stay that way for the rest of the night. There ain't enough on the news to tell who's wrong and who's right. I did a little drinking so I could stop thinking, and now I drink, you think too much. All of this is just a mirage. The military complex, the mortar barrage. Step into my new mental montage. Well, I did a little drinking so I could stop thinking, and now I drink, you think too much. Well, I was thinking about the Russians again. It's a confrontation nobody wins. And the next thing I knew, I was diluting my vodka with gin. Now don't try to argue with me. I turned off my head when I turned on the TV. I'm gonna sprout some roots and make like a tree. Well, I did a little drinking so I could stop thinking, and now I drink, you think too much. Well, I was thinking about the CIA. It's a symptom of moral decay. When you're lying in bed and you still gotta watch what you say. Now baby, I think you understand how a thinking man's head can get all out of hand. Well, I got no solutions, but I did have a plan. Well, I did a little drinking so I could stop thinking, and now I drink, you think too much. Well, I did a little drinking so I could stop thinking, and now I drink, you think too much. There you go. A little drinking, Cindy Snyder. You thought I'd forget, didn't you? You thought I'd forget. Who's out there? Just leaning in for a second there, Charlotte. Yeah, good. Good to see all you guys. Val Sanford. Val's here. So here's one of the things I'm thinking about, people. I have been having, and so has Diane, we've been having lots of Zoom meetings, as have everyone. I was thinking that maybe one of these nights, after one of these Tuesdays, we should do a Zoom meeting. We should all get together, because then I could see you. We could get together. We could chat. I don't know. See, the thing is, how do you curate something like that? I guess I would announce the meeting, so I'd be the host, so I would have to mute everybody and then unmute one person at a time or something. I don't know. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this? You should be in touch with me. You should be in touch with me, and you should do it via Facebook Messenger or email. My email address is up here in the corner with all the other hyperlinks and stuff like that. I heard from Rochelle Hamill, my old friend Rochelle, from Stadium High School. Actually, Rochelle and I were in Mrs. Plotz's kindergarten class together. Kindergarten. So I've known Rochelle since kindergarten. And I also heard from John Merrill. They got CDs sent to them because they sent me their postal address. If you send me via email or Facebook Messenger sometime when we're not doing this, send me your postal address and I will send you, if you want one of my CDs, just say so. I'll send you one. But only if you listen to CDs. If you're still a person who listens to CDs like I do, and you're not completely digital, because my stuff is available on Bandcamp, it's up there in digital format. But if you want a CD, so you can have the artwork and all the stuff, so that you have the chance of owning a copy of David Pileski's fabulous painting, The Dreamers, which is on the cover of Night Sky. Yeah. Okay. Enough selling, Bill. Jeez, Bill. What are you? Some kind of a sellout? I got a song about that. This is a song that Diane wanted to hear. Also from the album Gravity by some odd chance, and that's one that I haven't done for a while. So I had to relearn it. Maybe I should check in with the hand. Hey, hand! Hello, hand! I hope we see the hand tonight. We should see the hand at some point. Hello, hand.
Yes.
Hello. Could you perhaps step into the the area?
Can I what?
Can you just step in? I just wanted to make sure that people knew that you were with us and that you weren't that you hadn't left me because of my. See, the hand is here. I just wanted to make sure that you think that. Wait, I'm talking to you. I wanted to make sure that you think this is a good time for me to play the song that you wanted to hear. Okay. Enough said. Thank you. The hand. I had to hear from the hand. What was the song? People would look on the back of this album and they'd say, "What is that on the back of the album?" I'd say, "That's me. It's my face." And they'd be like, "Oh yeah, now I see it." It was like they thought it was an optical illusion or something. It's my face. I guess my face, maybe some people might think of it as kind of an optical illusion. What are you gonna do, Bill? What are you gonna do? Life. More mystery beverage. Did I tell you my mom gave me this cup? Yeah. Seems appropriate. Okay. Counting up the casualties, the little lost pieces of me, falling through the cracks in the street. A window up at 50 feet, cutting to the front of the pack, tensing up the length of your back. Heart attacks and impotence, stacked up next to dollars and cents. Get into management, work on a lunatic crew. Money due, and it's simple arithmetic, trimming a lunatic tree. Money seed. ledges of life, tapping on the teeth of the knife, holding all the anger in, locked inside a shit-eating grin. Well, maybe there's a kid on the way. You're staring at the stub of your pay. Art's whatever's marketed well. So how much of yourself will you sell? Starting to pressurize, you're so successful, my dear. Money here. And wasn't it you who said dead by the end of the week? Money speak. Look to where the carpeting stops, past the politicians and cops, future-facing shadows and doubt, for what we'll have to do without. Get into management, work on a lunatic crew, money due, and it's simple arithmetic, trimming a lunatic tree, money see. Casualties, little lost pieces of me, falling through the cracks in the street. That is called Moneysense, from the album Gravity, which came out in 1992. Oh, so the Fred Babb, it must have been 92 or 93 when I saw Fred Babb. When I met Fred Babb at What Is Art. Such a cool gallery. Such a cool gallery. If you look at the website, you'll see the gallery was just all of that. It was amazing. It's a great place to do a gig. It's a great place to do a gig. Way nicer than this place. But the treehouse is what we got. And I, for one, am glad we got it. I wanted to do a song by somebody else. Yeah, don't do that very much. This is the only one of this person's songs that I still play. I've tried several of the other ones, but can never quite get them right. And it's a song by Jim Page, another local guy. And Jim is doing a thing now, and I used to give him a hard time for it. He's changing the arrangements on some of his songs. And I used to say, come on, Jim, don't do that because, I really like the way it sounded, in the original. They're his songs, If I listen to certain ones of my songs, yeah, I've changed them. Learn to Say Goodbye, otherwise known as Lips. I've changed that quite a bit over the years. Other one, Book of Edsel, which I did a couple of weeks ago. Changed that, changed it back. So, Jim, your songs are great. This is the one that I'm going to play this evening. Oh, I ride the crosstown buses, down the alleys, past the houses, where the watchdog watches out for strangers on the loose. I pick an address off the sidewalk, brick my way in past the padlock, where the hot wire burglar alarm is sucking up the juice. One man's laws, another man's crime, it ain't nothing but a sign of the times. The dirty son of an LA DJ, hot rod racing down the LA freeway, wrong way down the one-way right-away, right into a crash. And they send out for an aid car, come up running with a crowbar, pry him out and work him over so he don't get whiplash. One man's laws, another man's crime, it ain't nothing but a sign of the times. All the low-down rounders and the dug-in undergrounders hang around with out-of-towners out looking for their chance. Panhandle proposition, play upon your superstition. sleight of hand, pick the pockets right out of your pants. One man's loss, another man's crime. It ain't nothing but a sign of the times. Old ladies with their nurses carry pistols in their purses to protect them from the children who are out of control. Adolescent alcoholics pickpocket people's wallets to work their way through grade school and make the honor roll. One man's loss, another man's crime. It ain't nothing but a sign of the times. The street corner preacher, he's an ex-karate teacher, black belt evangelist doing God's almighty will. While all the hardcore sinners eat their pornographic dinners, go to church and bribe the minister with a $50 bill. One man's loss, another man's crime. It ain't nothing but a sign of the times. The country singer from Tacoma says he's born in Oklahoma. Said he learned to ride in Arizona, and he's got the boots to prove it. While all the jukebox groupies, they all knock him for a loop. He thinks he's got to be the greatest. He's got the record sales to prove it. One man's loss, another man's crime. It ain't nothing but a sign of the times. These times they are confused, and it's enough to make you blow a fuse, and it's enough to make you throw up your hands and say, what's the use? But keep your eyes out on the double. We're headed straight for trouble. This whole wide world, you know, is gonna bust out on the loose. One man's loss, another man's crime. It ain't nothing but a sign of the times. One man's loss, another man's crime. It ain't nothing but a sign of the times. Indeed. Jim Page. Jim Page. Yeah. Jim and I have been friends for, 40 years. 40 years. Haven't had a bath in 40 years. So tonight I'm going to do the Walter Brennan version of Neil Diamond's Crunchy Granola Sweet. It's another one of those things I got to earn my way in. But one of these nights, I'll probably do it behind the pink curtain. I'll drop the pink curtain and I'll do Walter Brennan does Neil Diamond's Crunchy Granola Sweet. I don't think the world is quite ready for that yet. Don't think so. Someday though. In the meantime, how about a little bit more Mary Oliver? The hand just caught up to us and she's in there laughing. Yeah. Another Mary Oliver book, 12 Moons. Also have American Primitive here. And Dreamwork, yeah, good. Because when I was at my friend Carol's house years and years ago, this would have been in the early 90s down in Berkeley, she had a Mary Oliver poem up on her wall, Wild Geese. So we're going to hear Wild Geese. But I wanted to read this one, poem for my father's ghost. Now is my father a traveler, like all the bold men he talked of, endlessly and with boundless admiration, over the supper table, or gazing up from his white pillow, book on his lap always, until even that grew too heavy to hold. Now is my father free of all binding fevers. Now is my father traveling where there is no road. Finally, he could not lift a hand to cover his eyes. Now he climbs to the eye of the river. He strides through the Dakotas. He disappears into the mountains. And though he looks cold and hungry as any man at the end of a questing season, he is one of them now. He cannot be stopped. Now is my father walking the wind, sniffing the deep Pacific that begins at the end of the world. Vanished from us utterly, Now is my father circling the deepest forest, then turning into the last red campfire burning in the final hills, where chieftains, warriors, and heroes rise and make him welcome, recognizing under the shambles of his body a brother who has walked his 1,000 miles. Always liked that poem. Always makes me think of my dad, although my dad was not much of an outdoorsman. Diane wanted to hear In Blackwater Woods. It's a great, great poem. Oh, well, look. The bookmark in this book. Something that my daughter Alice made back when she was probably, 7 or 8 years old. She used to make me bookmarks. Good kid. In Blackwater Woods. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds, and every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this, the fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do 3 things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and then, when the time comes to let it go, to let it go. Good pick, Hand. Good pick. And finally, Wild Geese. From Carol's Wall and the book Dreamwork. I miss Carol. Wild Geese. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, to the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. There you go. Mary Oliver. Yeah. Goodness. Is Mark Kenny out there somewhere? Mark, are you out there? Mark Kenny? I hope Mark is out there. He wanted to hear How Deep Is Your Well. Speaking of Libby Creek songs. How Deep Is Your Well? From the album The Water Dance. Haven't seen Mark? Oh well, he'll see it on the replay, I guess. So this one goes out to Mark Kenny, who a couple of weeks ago wanted to hear it. I'm playing it a half step higher because it's just a thing. I'm having some pain issues and it's just a little easier if I sing it a little bit higher. Sorry. How deep is your well? What's the output? 8 gallons a minute won't quench a thirsty crop. You gotta dig deep around here, you gotta be resourceful. Dawn to dark or nothing, can't afford to stop. How deep is your well? Has it been tested? Guy that used to live here got the parasites. He used to call me doubled up and cramping. I used to drive him beneath the starry nights. How deep is your well? Does it run all year? Lots of holes round here go dry in the summertime. It got so hot last August, shriveled the onions. Raspberries dried up on the vine. How deep is your well? Do you have a hand pump? You know the government's gonna shut the power down. And those computers, man, they're good for nothing. It's gonna take strong backs if we're gonna save this town. How deep is your well? Look at Mr. Johnson's. 250 feet, hasn't found the stream. We've got to squeeze this earth like it's a damp sponge. You got to pay the auger man till your pockets bleed. How deep is your well? What's the output? 8 gallons a minute won't quench a thirsty crowd. You gotta dig deep around here, you gotta be resourceful. It's dawn to dark or nothing, can't afford to stop. Can't afford to stop. There you go. Mark Kinney. That was Temporary Beauty, the guitar Temporary Beauty, by the way, for those of you who were wondering. Yeah. An old friend. Woody, a more recent friend. Everybody okay? Hope that's the first time we've lost our feed there for a while. So we're lucky, right? Yeah, count ourselves as lucky. What I was saying right before I lost you, someday, Adrienne Rich, she's potent. Here's a song that originally appeared on a compilation album put out by the Seattle Peace Concerts. Don Glenn and company did this album called Piece by Piece. Came out, I think, in 94, 93 or 94. And I had a song on it, as did a bunch of friends of mine. It was great. It was a great album. It's probably still available. Yeah, bet you could find it. Bet you could find it. It must be a busy night on the interwebs. A busy night on the interwebs, my friend. Luckily, I wasn't in the middle of anything, except yammering, which I do probably too much of. Everybody, hang in there. A few more minutes, a couple more tunes, we'll be done. And then you can watch it on YouTube, and I'll splice all the pieces together, and it'll be seemingly seamless, but probably not completely seamless. It's never seamless. Okay, this is called The Years, remember? Change the way you're thinking. Do you know what that means? Raise her without doctors teaching her what she needs. Raise her with eyesight, color recedes. Everyone is brilliant, what's unseen? And the years don't improve, but we do. And we can improve what the years do. Trace the subjugation that buries a plan to another big business, another white man. Something is made naked in the secrets he shares, sells the future for dollars, and it's buyer beware. And the years don't improve, but we do. And we can improve what the years do. What the years do. Stand upon your promise, give it a name. Empty all your baggage and family shame. Empty all your wallets, write a lot of words on the walls where you're living, in the shade of the birds. And the years don't improve, but we do. And we can improve what the years do. What the years do. And the years don't improve, but we do. And we can improve what the years do. What the years do. What the years do. What the years do. Thanks. Thanks for the hearts and the thumbs and the fun. Yeah, it's great. Well, I'm gonna bail. While the bailing's good, I got one more for you. Hopefully we'll stay on the air. Yeah, I'm gonna bail out a couple of minutes early tonight. But I will be back next Tuesday. Okay? I hope you will be too. Bring some friends with you. Bring some folks. Tell them it's not all that bad. You know? Yeah. He tends to yammer a lot, but, you know, he reads poetry and stuff. I mean, it's, you know, could be worse. Yeah. FredBab.com. Check it out. This is for my darling Diane. The Hand. And will you come away with me, oh Diane, my darling? And will you come away with me to lie on the verge of the salty sea, and to know it's where we're meant to be, oh Diane, my darling? And shall I wear a suit of black, oh Diane, my darling? And shall I wear a suit of black to walk with the friends who won't come back? And to finally make my peace with that, oh Diane, my darling. And will they dig a proper grave, oh Diane, my darling? And will they dig a proper grave near to the drum of the breaking wave? And will the grandkids all behave, oh Diane, my darling? And will they sing a song I wrote, oh Diane, my darling? And will they sing a song I wrote, be found in the pocket of a threadbare coat, and then fold it up into a paper boat, oh Diane, my darling? And will they shed a grateful tear, oh Diane, my darling? And will they shed a grateful tear for the ruffled sea that brought us here? And then raise a glass to the coming year, oh Diane, my darling? And will you come away with me, oh Diane, my darling? And will you come away with me to lie on the verge of the salty sea, and to know it's where we're meant to be, oh Diane, my darling? Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging around through the glitches. Try to be glitch-free next week. Who knows? Let's all just try to be glitch-free in the meantime, okay? No glitches, okay? All right. We'll see you next week. Good night.